You know, if I was running an NSO right now and I knew what was happening with coaches in the advanced coach diploma, you couldn't stop me from signing up. We have a group of coaches who are so engaged, they are so curious, they are so committed, they are so connected with our expert content, with each other across sports, that this is an inimitable impact that we are having as a whole. We have our mentors, we have our coaches, we have our experts, we have the support, we have the commitment of a community to learn, and there is no greater thing, there is no greater joy actually for me as a pedagogue than to walk into the room and see what's happening. All we have to do is look at their faces and know that we are reaching these coaches and that they are going to positively impact the sports system as a result of being in this diploma program. There's a huge body of evidence that shows that coaches find peer enrichment, that discussion-based learning, the most inspiring way to learn. And through creating a structured learning community, the one that we have with our hub model, we are actually creating an environment that coaches are interested in learning in. You know, when it comes to competency and challenging what we want coaches to do across the diploma, because I think the curriculum is really strong. I think that what we're talking about when it comes to leadership, training and comp readiness, effectiveness and performance planning, you know, there's no downside to asking any coach to demonstrate their competency in those areas, and I think we're dialed when it comes to what are the competencies we're looking for. When it comes to assessment, evaluation, certification, those important layers, I would say any coach who's able to challenge what we're asking our coaches who are enrolled in the diploma to do would be pretty powerful, because what we're really asking these coaches to do is apply the best science we have to their specific context. And their work, their portfolio creations, and everything they share in our environment is about applying best content. It's not about a memorization thing, you know, it's not about writing a quiz or a test. The real question is, how does this come to life in your sport context? So we empower the coach and challenge them at the same time. That we are bringing to life the 5 core competencies of the NCCP program through our current hub delivery of the diploma. When it comes to valuing, we're valuing expert content every week. We're valuing each other and our mentors and the strengths of the program and the interesting differences between coaches. I mean, that valuing part, I see it everywhere, and you're probably going to laugh at my answer because I see all 5 everywhere all the time. We could hit pause every 5 minutes in our week, let alone our classroom time, and I could show you, I think I really could, where these 5 competencies are living. And so valuing it's everywhere in our community, through what a coach is doing on her own to what we do collectively in a moment of question, in a moment of doubt, in a moment of curiosity, that we're valuing each other and the content and the process and what it's all about, right? Influencing the sports system, positively impacting performance, changing the way an athlete is on the stage. We're valuing all that all the time. Interacting, I've kind of described it, right? Our structured learning community is founded upon the principle of interaction, peer enrichment, mentor support, expert leadership, and the coach is driving that all the time. But without the interaction, we wouldn't even be the same. We'd be a shallow skeleton of ourselves without that interaction piece. We insist that coaches interact, quite honestly, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. The next one is problem solving. Every time we offer content every week, we ask the coaches to take it into the field and solve problems, maybe even problems they didn't know were problems in the past, constantly, and circle back to our classroom and debrief how that went. And think really critically. It's the next one, critical thinking, right? Thinking critically about what they do and why they do it. I was reading a really interesting discussion thread last night on our D2L page about that very thing, and these coaches were talking with each other on discussion board about about the purpose behind the choices they make. It was in relation to motor learning, and it was in relation to how they structure their yearly plan and how they structure a practice, even as small as a 5-minute moment in their day. But it was actually about critical thinking and suspending their judgment and thinking really, really big and wide about what they do and why they need to do it and the purpose of their choices. And I don't know that we get that in a single sport environment in the same way that we do in a multi-sport learning environment. I mean, it is powerful, the conversation is rich, and valuing, interacting, leading is the last one. There is no doubt that these coaches are leading the way in their specific context, and we are creating a learning environment where they have the opportunity to lead constantly, 24 hours a day, in fact, should they choose to accept that challenge. They can lead within our community, they can go to their sport environment and lead there, and in fact that's what I see them doing. You know, I was on the phone last night with a coach who's out in the field at a training camp and was asking me questions about how do I bring this content to life tomorrow morning on our 100K ride. And that's what we're talking about. This coach wants to lead, and I was acting as a mentor supporting those choices.